Hello, welcome to the Medic's Commentary. Doses of gameplay with an injection of thoughts, critique, and advice. My name is Bluegill75. Got a Voltar gameplay that doesn't involve me getting horribly murdered and our base blown up. This turned out pretty good. I'm playing as Voltar with Yuri on my team as well. I wasn't hopeful of how the match is going to turn out, but you'll see how things work out. Sometimes having two supports work, sometimes not. It puts a lot of weight on the guy not playing support, in this case a Lone Star. One of the guys are on my Steam list, and another guy is on his Steam list, so friend and friend and friend. Well, guy died now anyway. So disclosure there. Froggy G, Vinny, and Coco, so lots of people who can do burst damage, so I was really worried. Like, you'll see I'm not quite there for my teammates all the time. I'm trying to just adapt to 2.8.2 with the further changes made to Voltar. Like, you can kind of see there's some difficulty, and Voltar has a really weak start. I'm just trying to find a way that works for him, and what seems to have a decent success rate is to just farm off droids. And life or death situation, I don't think it's really worth charging up the heal, because it's the same, pretty much the same. Like, it seems to be what 4 spam heals does, 1 fully charged heal will do. So it's roughly the same, but maybe so. It really depends. I just spend the first half of the game just farming, just spamming heals, and even on droids as well, even when it's doing 5 healing, I just do it anyway, because you're not likely to get the first turret down for 10 minutes unless it's going extremely well. Commenting on that first kill, you really have to kind of think about your enemy's perspective. Like, where do you think that ball is going to be? Where do they expect you to be when you're out and about? Like, when you jump, they might think that you're going to be doing the full jump, and they'll try to hit you while you're airborne. So kind of things like that, especially with Froggy G. He'll try to dash where he believes you're going to be. Try to get the optimal time to get a hit on somebody. So, Jesus Christ. So you really do have to think about that. Like, don't just think of things of your own end, looking after yourself. It's complicated from support's perspective. Like, trying to guess where your allies are going to be so that you can heal them up. Droids are simple enough where they have a fixed path. Allies just trying to keep healing them while they're jumping and everything, so they can stay alive much of the time. Enemies just trying to confuse them or just try to be unpredictable so that it's more difficult for them to hit you, like so. Like, just trying to look at where my enemies are, and as I said before, 1 eye on my allies, 1 on my enemies. Like there, just trying to keep an eye on both Froggy G when he gets close, where he's going to be. Prime example there to look at what he's going to do, and Froggy G paid the price for getting too close, trying to get too aggressive. Now for Coco, just watching where she is, and where she is when she launches that ball, because the ball goes from where she is. Not like the ball is like a wave beam or anything like that. It's not Metroid, it's not homing or anything, thankfully. It's worse enough that it goes through walls, so just trying to make use of that, because they all have burst attacks. They can all do a lot of damage in a short amount of time, which makes my job pretty difficult. I don't have any burst healing, save for charging on my heal wave. Aside from that, there's using the Health Pack Surprise on Healbot. That's really about it. Like, there's not a whole much to do to counter them, just to ride out the waves. They're just trying to look after my allies, just try not to take too much damage from everything. So when I started out, I just got the suicide drones and I got Solar Crab Burger. That's something I'm trying out. It's iffy because I notice myself, I tend to die before I get Solar Crab Burger, but the problem is I will get both abilities, Healbot, so it keeps my allies alive a little bit better. So I don't know, I don't want to go back to the shop too often, because I tend to get abilities, Solar Crab Burger, to cover my weakness where I can't naturally heal myself, with the Healbot being nerfed in 2.8 anyway. So don't quite have that figured out. Just increasing the minimum of the heal wave just to be able to spam, but be able to make a little stronger push anyway. It's normally later in the game when I start to charge up my heals. It depends on the situation though. So it really depends, because I might get euphoric thoughts, but I have been trying out some different gameplays, and I'll comment on them when I get to it. But where I have a stronger heal wave, I'm able to sustain pushes for a longer amount of time. Just trying to be careful not to get too far in, just try not to overextend. But as you can see, where we all are in one spot, the enemy will see that, and at least one of them will go into the other lane, and they will start pushing there. So it's a little bit tricky to do. Just noticing some things that, for all of us anyway, like I don't want to pick on my teammates. Just trying to learn some new strategies for Voltar, because a lot of things I've done don't work as well as they do in 2.8. So I'm just trying to see what works, because I'm trying out the idea. Voltar is a burst Awesomenaut who can also heal. I'm looking at his heal mechanics as secondary, because his drones are pretty crazy. So I'm trying to look into giving with one hand and taking with another. So where I'll look at what needs my attention more. Do I need to be healing more to help my allies get kills? Or are my allies doing quite well? Do they not need health so much? Should I look into doing damage more? That kind of thing. So increasing the heal wave helps with pushing droids, but it also fuels my plan of getting Solar faster. So I'm just trying to make that work. However, I'm not completely against the idea of not using the charge heal wave. So just trying to see what can work. I don't have this down as a final draft or anything. This is a gameplay that is worthwhile watching. Some of the other ones, I've got another Voltar gameplay. I might show you that if I don't make anything better. I've just been mostly playing Durple for the past while. Durple's a lot of fun to play. Supports, it's mostly been Yuri. But yeah, commenting on that, a little silly for me to try to think that I could go around those guys, 2 assassins, and think that I would get out unscathed. Sure, nah, I'll just go around them. Maybe quite literally around them, just go down behind the turret and do that. But thankfully, Lone Star was able to be a person worth supporting, and we were able to get the turrets down anyway, because we got 2 of theirs down, and they only got 1 of ours down. So we're doing quite well anyway. So it's not going too bad right now. And Yuri's able to, at the very least, just do some area denial, but he's countered by Froggy G. That's kind of the issue. I would say perhaps use mines aggressively, plant him in your face or anything, but Yuri does a playstyle that works for him, that he's comfortable with. So I'm trying out using damage on heal wave, seeing how that works. Trying to combo that with suicide drones. If an enemy gets too close to me, I'll let my heal wave charge up or just spam damage. It seems to work anyway, but it's I would say it's better to let it charge up, because spamming 2, and it takes about 4 to, and the amount of time it would take to let it charge up. But if you get 2 upgrades, it does 160 damage to Awesomenauts and 140 damage to non-Awesomenauts, droids, or weaklings, or anything like that. So I need to get used to letting my heal wave charge, because I almost never, ever did it beforehand. So I thought I would try out just spamming heal wave, see how it works. Some places it does work, some places not. It really depends. I would say it really depends on the situation. If it's not really a big deal, if it's not a big danger, I tend to just spam heals and get extra solar. I'm just trying to get used to the idea of maybe it's better to let my wave charge up and then heal, let it charge up, heal, let it charge up, heal. Where it seems that you get a little bit more, at least for Awesomenauts, for letting it charge up and then heal. It gives a little bit of a bonus, I think, for waiting. Just you have to hit that optimal time to do that, because the mid time is extremely slow. The mid is okay once you upgrade it. However, the the high end can be really good if you get both healing upgrades. So I tend to get knockback, but I'm just trying to think whether it's better to get knockback or it's better to get damage. But yeah, it's a little hard to tell when you're safe behind the turret, especially with Vinny and Spike, because his spikes will go through walls. But Froggy G can be a little tricky in that regard. So I'm just trying to balance out dealing damage and on healing wave and the drones. So it's not working too badly anyway. Just once we got taken out, they tried to make an aggressive push, but as you'll see right here, you have to look at your enemies. It's like one of those bullet hell shooters. You're not really looking at yourself and how you're doing, you're looking at your enemy and looking at what they're doing so that you can react in kind. So something to really think about, because watching it looks like it would have been easy to avoid that shot. However, when you're focused on the droids who don't have a complex movement, but going with the Vinny and Spike who can reach you if you're too close to the wall, or Coco who can get you if you're not paying attention, where you really have to react to her shots and try to get out of the way. And with her energy ball having quite a low cooldown as well. So it can be tricky, but you just really have to stay calm, not panic, and just try to react to what's going on around you, what you need to be doing, and what you can do to either help your teammates or to fight the enemy. Usually helping your allies helps with helping the enemy, but sometimes just giving that little extra oomph with your allies' attacks really can build up, because having all those drones and then either using the explosion or just letting them do the shot damage, and even just letting a fully charged heal wave can do almost a bar of health damage wise, and then you can do about another 2 bars of damage, something like that. So it can add together nicely if you can get it to work. Like nearly got that Vinny and Spike right there. But just have to remember that clearing droids, you can't deal extra explosion damage to droids, so you gotta watch out for that too. And I've noticed Yuri, he's more focused on the laser build, maybe a little too focused. Like I think right here would be a good time to lay mines down. However, I think he had his time warp out, so he was taking that opportunity to get his health back anyway. I've been using the what do you ever call it? The banana item that lets you get lifesteal when the time warp's active. It really does work. It really helps with Yuri in regards to sustain, because just a couple droids and Yuri's able to get some health back in just a few seconds. Just gotta be careful with not getting too close anyway. But just learning not to get too crazy, just try to fight back enemies anyway. And I always use solo crab burgers. I've noticed some Voltars don't, but I noticed it's almost too good not to take, because I don't really see a great sense of using Medican, because it's a static regeneration, whereas with the solo crab burger, the more people you're healing at once, you get a coin from each of them. So if you're healing more people at one time, that's more health you're getting back. So I find myself when I'm the one who's in danger, I'll start spam healing, and that will get my life back pretty quickly. So, I don't know, Voltar's pretty complicated as a healer. He seems to be simpler to use as a burst character. That's probably why I'm more attracted to using him for his offensive capabilities. Healing is really tricky, at least for the first little while, because I want to get Solo Crabburger right at the first of it. However, what happens is that means I either have to skip the suicide drones or the heal bot, where Solo Crabburger costs 100 solar. So it almost seems better to get suicide drones just to have that extra burst damage, but then you don't have that extra source of healing. So you have to decide if you're going to go for Solo Crabburger at the very start of the match, either to have a source of damage or another source of healing. It's fickle. if you're able to avoid death anyway. Just where it's really tricky to... Well, just where heal block can't heal you anymore. The health pack with the health pack surprise can, as long as the heal bot doesn't get destroyed. That's a big cost. There was one match. The Scoop was trying to take me out. I was just using my damage on heal wave, and I dropped the heal bot behind me, and he almost got me. He was trying to take me out pretty quickly, and I was healing my heal bot to get some life back from that. And the heal bot was able to do the whole time, and I was able to get the health back off that, and gave me enough health to get my ally take out Scoop before Scoop was able to take out me. That might be the next Voltar clip. We'll see if I get anything as good as or better than any other Voltar videos. Just I try not to force myself to upload every single night. Just if I got something worth showing, but if not, I won't force myself to finish the video. So nearly the matter of just trying to make a push on the allies anyway. And yeah, now I'm just focused where I feel I'm doing pretty good with dealing some damage anyway, but not doing too great. I decided to just kind of build into doing some extra healing, doing a little bit more healing with heal bot, then have that health back at the end of the heal bot. The burst damage is really good. It's best for doing last hits anyway. But I noticed that Yuri's been able to do that fairly well. Like, he's doing better than me when it comes to... Well, better than the rest of the team when it comes to KD ratios. So, not going too badly so far. I'm just trying to protect the lanes right here. Just decent use of heal bot right there. Just do that, block the droids from hitting the turret, and then where I still have a little health missing, get the rest of the heal filled up with the heal bot. So that's a good little way of having that working out. Just as long as the enemies don't make a concentrated effort. I don't think they were aware that maybe then that I had the heal bot active, so just try not to rely on it too heavily in case they charge make a group effort on taking out the heal bot, because once it's done, that's it. I have to wait for my cooldown to reset before I can use it again. But I do like that I can heal it, and I'll get an extra source of income for that. I'll get some solar for healing it, so it's pretty useful. But I find that damage just seems to work for dealing with droids anyway. But I have to get used to just using charged heals, because I don't think spam heals really do all that well, because they barely do any damage against droids anyway. So yeah, I think it's doing 40, something like that. Not a great deal anyway. Maybe 20. Yeah, I think it's either 20 or 40 at the minimum. So yeah, it's not going too badly. Just trying to keep pushing at the lanes anyway. And I noticed Yuri here, he was in big trouble, so I figured I'd try to go around, take care of him. And you only get that Froggy G there, just trying to get some sustain. Froggy G missed the cliff, and I was able to take him out with my heal wave, and that managed to work out quite well. So that was able to solidify teamwork there. And I thought right there and then that Froggy G left, but it turned out Vinny and Spike left for whatever reason it was. So I figured that the Froggy G really just leave over that. And then again, able to combine damage on heal wave and damage from the drones. Able to combine that quite well. And there's no one around to take care of us anyway. I think it's just the bot. And he's just up in the top lane anyway. So this is how well Voltar can do once he's able to push a lane uninterrupted. Where Froggy G there, I see him. So okay, if he tries to hit me, I'll get the health pack first, therefore he won't be able to get it anyway. So it's not like if he takes too much damage, he'll run to the health pack. Able to work out well in that regard. But once that push gets going, it really is hard to stop. I could have gone back to the heal bot, but I got a little too cocky there, but got taken out. So nearly getting it right there. It's just a matter of my other teammates taking care of it. I see Lone Star had... Oh, okay, yeah. Area of effect on his blaster. So it's a known... I wouldn't call it a bug, but it's something that works. You just shoot the top of it if you have area of effect, and it will damage the core. So that was Voltar on AI Station 205, I think it was. Going for a more offensive, kind of balancing damage with healing kind of thing. Would like to get another gameplay, record it, and see what I can find there anyway. So until then, that's all for now. Thanks very much for watching.